Hey, all right, everybody. How's it going? Look, I've got another box. Right, so what's inside this box? Well, you can see it's quite a compact box. It's a folding e-bike. So let's get the bike out of the box. I think it's already mostly put together, and then we'll have a look what it looks like right by here. So there is another box. There's some keys in there. There's some tools. There's a UK plug. There is a charger there, and also we have got the instructions. There was a set of pedals in there, but they're already on the bike over but there. You can see the bike is put together. So let's have a look at the bike. Right, okay, here it is, all put together. Now I say all put together in a very loose context because all I had to do was to put these pedals on by here. Now the pedals are slightly different to other pedals. When the camera's a bit closer, I'll show you what I mean. Now, the battery is housed here in the seat tube there. I don't know if you can see from there, it says carbon but there. So this bike is made of carbon fibre, which makes it very, very light. The heaviest part in this bike is the actual battery. Is there anything else to note before I go? Oh, the other thing I wanted to say was, there's no side stand on this bike, so you've got to lean it against something. Anyway, let's have a closer look. So looking down by here, there's the hub motor down in there. It does say Bafang on it. I don't know if you can see that there, but it does say Bafang. Then we've got the battery here housed in this post. Massive lock-in device there. And then we've got this extendable wire so the seat can be raised up and down. And then it plugs in the back of the seat post there, or the battery post I should say, if that focus is on there. Focus on there like that. And it's turned anti-clockwise to undo, and then you just push it in like that and it spins and locks just like so. Okay, so looking down here at the wheels, 160mm discs with hydraulic brakes. They are branded Tektro. Then the wheels are 20 inches and the tyre is 1.75 inches wide. So we can see here it's belt driven. There's no chain on this bike, so it should be nice and quiet. And if you look at the back here, it's a single speed and there are adjusters there. So I assume that this belt will stretch slightly over time. So you might have to give it a little bit of a tweak on the adjusters every so often. Oh, and I did mention the pedals. So the pedals, usually you do like a nut up by here. But on these pedals, there's like an Allen or hex key behind there. And it does up from the rear. Now you might think, if you've got your bike locked up, somebody can steal your battery, but they've thought of that already. So there's a lock-in mechanism here. I've just undone it. Let me just take that key out. There's a pin there, look, okay? So you close this like so, like that, and you push that pin in like so, and then you cannot open that. It's locked. You need the key to get the pin out. So this is what it looks like with me sitting on the bike. I'm 5'10", 178 centimeters or 1.78 meters. Nice upright position, the way I've got it set up for me. If I put my hands on the handlebars, only leaning forward ever so slightly, so it is a very comfortable position. Okay, so looking up on the handlebars, we got the bell by there. That's quite a loud bell. That's not too bad at all. You've got your hydraulic brakes. Now they don't look like they're the type of brakes that cut off the power. Then you've got the display here. I don't know how well you can see that there. There's like a little Wi-Fi sort of satellite picture there. We'll have a look what that's about a little bit later on. You've got your plus and minus buttons there, look, like so. I believe if you hold this front button down, the front light will come on. Yes, the front light is on. Turn that off. And if you hold this button down here, it'll give you the walk function. Right, okay, that was a quick look around the bike. Let's get it out on the old open road. Right, okay, here we are, out on the old open road. So let's give it a bit of a speed test. We've already got one gear. I've got it in level 3 and it's on sport mode. So let's give it a crack. It's going to cut out at 15.5 miles per hour or 25 kilometers an hour, but we are actually going 26.6 kilometers an hour. So, and it's sort of, this is the point where it's cutting out. So I run about 26.6 kilometers per hour. Now, I should really change that to miles per hour. But anyway, let's carry on up here and we'll do the hill test next. Now, I will say it is belt driven, so it's very, very quiet. Super quiet. I can't hardly hear it. But I don't think it's going to give me a lot of power up the hill. But we'll find out when we get there now. Right, here we go. Here's the hill. Now, it's got a torque sensor. It hasn't got a cadence sensor. It hasn't got a twist throttle. It hasn't got a thumb throttle. All it's got is a torque sensor and pedal power. Now, this is the less steep part of the hill. And it's okay. By here is okay. You have got to push on the pedals to get the torque sensor going. Now, I don't think it's going to get up the steep part of the hill. Is that a car coming behind me? Let me look. Yeah, it's a car behind me. Let me pull over by here. Just pull over. Like so. Let the car go past. Okay. Now, like I said, we're on the lower part of the hill, and I have got to keep pushing to get the torque sensor to keep engaging that rear motor. So I can already feel that, and I'm not the fittest person in the world, so I do need my electric assistance, but I can already feel that the steep part of the hill is going to be a no. Anyway, let's find out. We'll get there and we'll find out. Now, the bike is very, very light. It is light. Oh, there's a car coming this way now. Let's stop by here. Here we go again. Now, let's turn the light on. Like so. Let's see if you can see where the light is. There we go. It's pointing down on the bottom there, look. Now, the light is pretty bright. That's a good light, that is. There we go, over that side. I have got it pointing down a little bit too low. But it is a good light. Just needs slightly pointing up a little bit more. Now, let's turn the light off. Can I get up this hill? I don't think I can. But here we go. Like I said, it's only giving me a very slight bit of assistance. And I've got it on level 3. And when you go into the app, it will go from either eco to sport mode. I don't know how much difference that makes, but it's in sport mode. But so we're going to get to the steep part in a minute. It's already hard by here now, because we've got that small cog at the back, quite a large cog at the front, so the gearing's a bit, this is more of a city bike, see, it's not designed for this, look. So this is the steep part of the hill now. It says 10 kilometers an hour at the moment, so we're going up here slowly, but I'm doing most of the work. So, can we make it to the cattle grid? I think I might have to stand up now. It is, I'm doing most of the work by here. We'll see now. I'm getting up here, but you might start hearing me get out of breath now in a second, because I am doing most of the work. And if you've watched all my videos, you know I like the bike to do the work, not me do the work. So this is steep by here, and it's giving me assistance, but it's not enough. It's not enough. But like I said, I'm not the fittest person in the world, and if he was lighter, then it would be easier, obviously. So, can I make it to the cattle grid? Can I do it without standing up? We're down to 9 kilometers an hour now. So you have got to keep pushing quite hard. It's a car coming behind me, so I'll pull over by here now. I made it. Phew. So I made it up the hill, but that was mostly me. I'm going to say that was at least 55% me, 60% me, and 40% the rear motor. When you're on the flat, it's absolutely fine, but for big hills like this, it's not a bike for hills. And that is my honest opinion. Anyway, let's get off the bike and have a look at the old seat. Now, I've put like a gel saddle thing on there because look, I can't hold the bike. I got no side stand either. Let me put my foot behind that wheel. Right, so I've put that on there. Let me take that off and I'll show you what the seat is like. Right, okay, so there's the seat. Now the seat is actually squishy, but it's not very wide. That's why I've put that gel seat cover on there, because the seat isn't very wide. So let me just try and grab that there with my hand. It is firm in the front there, but it's very soft by here. So the seat is nice and soft, but there's my hand there. You can see it's not the widest of seats. So I like a wide seat. That's why I've put that on there. Right, so here we go, back on the hill again. And like I said, you've got to put a lot of work in. You've got to keep pressing on this torque sensor to keep the motor turning. Now, I think I'll stop by here and we'll try the walk function. Stop by here in the shadows. Now, let's have a look. So I don't know if you can see on there from this camera here, is on level 3 and sport mode. So I don't know, I did the sport mode in the actual app. I'll show you the app in a bit. Anyway, let's hold this minus button down. There we go. Oh, now, that walk function is, very strong. I wonder if that walk function could actually pull me up the hill sitting on it. Let me just try, hang about. I don't think it will, but let's just have a try, innit? Ready? No, it won't pull me up there. But it's quite a strong walk function. Another car coming. My word, how many cars are coming today? Okay. Right, so let's try the walk function again. Hold our button down like so. And it's quite, look, it's off like a rocket now. The front wheel's coming up all the time, look. I'm walking at 5 kilometers per hour. So I think I'll pull over by you and see if I can change the settings a little bit. But the walk function drags you up the hill. Like I said, you can't cut it out with the brakes, so you've got to just take your finger off and it stops. Where should I go over by here, I think? Right, hopefully you can see that there. Is it plus and minus to get into the functions? Now I've got a password to get into there, so I can't get into it. I don't know what the password is. So let's try that again. Right, I don't know the password, so I've got the app open by here now. So it's got vehicle settings. So let's have a look in the vehicle settings. There, I can change that to miles. Has that got the miles on there? Yeah, it's miles per hour on there now. 3 gear mode or 5 gear mode. Can I change that to 5 gear mode? That won't make much difference, so I might as well just leave it on 3 gear mode. Cycling mode sport. You've got sport or eco. I'm going to leave it in sport. Bluetooth, off time, start password, battery display, type. And I think that's the only things I can change on here. I can't change the speed or anything like that. Got developer options there. What's that? Is that going to let me in? If I got to click it so many times? Got to do a password again. Password. Have a quick look at the app anyway. We got GPS settings, Bluetooth, app version. If I go to home, you got lamp, turn the lamp off and on, like so. You got sport mode or eco mode. Let's keep it in sport mode. Bike search. If I click that, will it find it? Now you can lock. It says you can lock this bike. There we go. It's found me. Look. There we go. I'm up in the middle of nowhere. When turned on, the bicycle can't be used normally. I don't want to do that. So it's got some sort of lock where it locks the back wheel, I think it is. And I think it's got some sort of alarm on it and tracking. Like I said, by here, you can sort of track where your bike is with the app. If I go home, got GPS, you can click overspeed setting, fall alarm, cycling track record, electronic fence, IoT module recharge. Anyway, so that's that. Right, okay, so it has got its own built-in GPS, and I don't know if you can see very well on the screen here, but it's actually got a little signal indicator there for the GPS. And if you go on the app, you can put a destination in. I've put Cardiff in, so it's showing 12.3 miles to destination. It's got a straight arrow. It's telling you to turn after 78.7 feet, and it's got the miles per hour over there. So that's very good. That's the first bike I've seen with actual built-in GPS on the screen but there like that. Right, okay then, here we go. Pedal power again. So I can feel it kicking in and giving me the, a bit of oomph to get me going off in the first place. But this is a steep hill, and like I said, the gearing's not suited for hills. So even though it's giving me power, I've got to put most of the effort in. And it's quite a warm day as well, so I'm getting a bit warm. Now I'm gonna push my way to the top of this hill, and then when we get to the top of the hill, let's go a bit faster. When we get to the top of the hill, we'll turn around and we'll try the brakes, and the brakes do feel pretty good. Now, like I've said, this bike is a very light bike, so there's a compromise to be had where you want to make the bike light, but if you make it more powerful, then the bike becomes heavier. So this is a sort of compromise between lightness and power, and how big the battery is and how big the motor is. So like I said, this bike is more suited to city type people, or if you're going to take the bike in the back of your car and do little journeys on it. Up in the mountains, in the hills, it is not suited to it at all, in my opinion. It might suit some people who are a lot lighter than me, but for my weight on this bike, the power isn't quite enough. Right, okay, we're almost to the top of the hill. Now, it levels off by here. Now, I don't recommend this, but I'm going to try it again. Walk function, like that, right? That's the walk function. I said it was strong, didn't I? It's a very strong walk function, because it's actually pulling me up this little bit of a hill by here. Anyway, let's get to the top, turn around, and we'll try these. Now, I've got to say, it says Tektro on there. I don't know if they're genuine Tektro or not, but they feel very, very good. So let's get to the top of here. Right, I'm going to try and be careful because I can feel these brakes are very strong. So I'm not going to go too bonkers because I might come a cropper, because the brakes do feel good. So we'll, ready, steady, go. I think there's a bit of a skid in the back there then, wasn't it? Yeah. So let's have a quick look. Let's hope no more cars come. Now I can't put the bike down because there's no side stand. So if I just look around that way there, I don't know if you can see with the camera up there, that's where I stopped. It's not scientific at all, but it did stop very, very well. It stopped really good actually. Anyway, let's go down the hill now. We'll try gravity and we'll see what kind of speed we can get just by going down the hill. Right. Right, okay, here we go. Gravity and the bike. 15 miles per hour. 20 miles per hour. Oh, it's windy. Oh. 24 miles per hour. 25. I can't go too fast because I can't see what's coming round the corner. 26 and a half. 28 miles per hour. Oh. 30 miles per hour. I'm going to start slowing down now. Start slowing down, going across the cattle grid, like so. Right, okay, gone a bit further now. Done about, it says 4 miles at the moment I've gone. I think the battery is still, it looks like it's on full to me at the moment, but it's not obviously not on full because I've driven some miles. Let's go up by here on the right. Watch this person coming out of the pathway there. Bit of off-roading. Now, I can't get up this hill by here in front of me. There is no suspension on this bike, so I think I'll just have to, well, I'll keep pedaling until I can't, which is about now. Anyway, I think that's a good time to have a good look at the battery. Right, okay, here's the seat post and the battery incorporated in the seat post. And you can see by there, well, if I come a bit closer, you've got 10 to 1 there, minimum insertion. So you can see you've got quite a lot of height there. If I bring it a bit closer again, you can see where it plugs in there. That's where it's charged. That's where the battery operated light is. And if I turn it around that way, like so, it says by there, 37 volts, 10 amp hours, 370 watt hours. Right, there we go, that's the battery. Now, I got the walk function on again, and it's dragging me up this hill. It is quite fast. It does drag you up the hill, which is quite nice. Because quite a few times, a couple of the e-bikes I've had have been more powerful than this when you're riding them, but the actual hill assist has been a little bit weak. So it's nice to have plenty of power with a hill assist. It could do with a bit more when you're pedaling. Anyway, let's get up here. And there we go. It dragged me up the hill. Now, like I said earlier, I can see this as a fantastic city bike, city e-bike, because of the weight of it. But like I said, I've taken it outside its old comfort zone. So I'm doing a bit of off-roading as well now, which is probably not recommended. But anyway, we'll carry on down this path. It does go back into a housing estate civilization down by here on the corner, like so. A couple of stingies on my leg then. But it's quite a comfortable bike because you are sitting upright, but there is no suspension. There you go, down here. Back wheel spinning, skidding in. There we go. A little bit of off-roading. Right, okay, we've done a bit of mountain riding and whatnot. Let's go onto the actual streets where this bike is more at home and see what it's like when we're on the actual normal roads. Well, not quite yet. We're still on a bit of a gravel path at the moment. But we just travel around by here, see what it's like. And it is, you know, on these normal roads, it is a lot easier to ride. Let's just go up here and have a look what's going on up here. I gotta say, this is probably the quietest e-bike I've ever ridden. You can hardly hear it. The belt drive is very, very quiet. I gotta say, the brakes on this bike are fantastic. They're really, you don't have to hardly pull on the levers, hardly at all. And it starts braking really easily. So it is quite a nice bike to ride when you're actually on the main roads. So I think, you know, going mountain roading where I live, where there's loads of hills, is not quite suited to this bike. But when you're on normal hills and normal roads, it's very, very nice. Now, it is a folding e-bike, so let's have a look what it looks like when it's all folded up. Okay, so it is a folding bike, so this is what it looks like when it's folded up. It's nice and compact. That seat post can go down further as well. So that's what it looks like. There we go. And there you go. That's what it looks like when it's all folded up. Anyway, let's carry on down this way. Do a few more miles. I gotta say, it's very windy today. It's blowing me backwards. Now, there's another hill by here, but we're on the main road, so let's give it a bash and see if we can get up this hill by here now. Round the corner. It's quite steep, so I'll give it my best. I'll give it my best shot. Right, here we go then. So it is helping me, but like I said, you've got to put some effort in yourself. But that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Now, I've got to say, this bike has given my legs a little bit of a workout today. More than usual. So I'll probably find out tomorrow, won't I? But my legs do feel like they've had a bit of a workout. Not as much as a normal bike, but it has given me a little bit of a workout. Now, I don't know what the price is on the actual drive belt itself. It can't be that expensive. I'll try and look it up and put the price up on the screen now, if I can find it. If I can't find it, then I won't put nothing up on the screen. Because I know you can get chains quite cheap, but how expensive is it to replace one of these belt drives? Right, I've done about 6 miles now, and I think the battery's gone down. Well, I can't even see if it's gone down. It still looks like it's on full. So the battery's doing quite well. But I think I'll make my way back now. Right, okay, that's my review of the A Carbon e-bike. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ahoy!